So when I was younger, I thought that all adults knew what they were doing, and they were all way above me. The lack of the great field leveler of social media meant that the only interaction that I really had with adults were them talking down to me, or giving me instructions or commands of what to do. But social media has changed that. You know, teenagers can see adults talking to other adults on social media about how we don't know what we're doing, there's no plan, we're just making things up as we go along. And to my general generation, and pretty much every generation preceding us, that revelation crushed us because it destroyed this illusion of what life was like that we had. But this next generation is growing up already knowing that. And honestly, I think that's good. I think it's really cool. It makes when a child obeys their teacher or parent an act of love and trust rather than fear, either of them or of just the general unknown. Now, of course, being this constantly exposed to the reality of the horrifying state that things happen to be in right now, as well as the knowledge that everything you say online can and will be held against you at a certain future point, that's not great for general mental health. Social media does have its downsides, especially to younger people with undeveloped or still developing brains. However, I know from my own experience that interacting with and being exposed to a whole spectrum of people and beliefs that didn't align with mine, or experiences that me growing up as a cis straight white guy couldn't relate to, and I thought that my experiences were universal, which weren't as universal as I thought they were. And that diversity in culture and sexuality and ability is something awesome and fantastic and to be celebrated. I'm so extremely grateful for that. I am the complete opposite person now of who I was when I first joined social media, and I think that potential for general society outweighs the downsides. Social justice movements are primarily being led by young people, like the BLM movement, which, granted, shouldn't have even needed to be a thing in the first place, but because of the way that the world is right now, definitely is needed. That is being led by this next generation. A generation that saw us millennials get upset about situations in society, but then not do anything about them out of a sense of complacency. Just look at how many millennials self-profess to not care about voting. Voting, the absolute bare minimum that you can do to have any kind of effect on anything at all. Look at how generally accepting this generation is of LGBTQI plus kids that need that love and support, as all kids do. How fragile toxic masculinity is mocked, and how many of the biggest men influencers regularly paint their nails or wear crop tops, when 20 years ago, that would have been highly discouraged or mocked. A switch in society has occurred from simple tolerance to celebration. From refusing to accept an LGBTQI plus kid to refusing to accept them not being an option. Businesses that have gotten away with a lack of diversity are being noticed, being called out, and being punished for it. Now, change in society for good is not easily brought out. It's often fought for. Rather literally. The fight for freedom from the horrifying practices of slavery, to the fight for the legal end of segregation and Jim Crow laws, to the fight for legal gay marriage, and so much more. All of these have been extremely uphill battles against set in their ways people in power. And these wins, unfortunately, are not set in stone, but should be viciously defended by every generation, and more should be added to that list with every generation. That's a heavy burden to ask of this new generation. And these kids, they're not just bearing the responsibility to make society and the world itself a better place than they found it, but they're actively grabbing at it. At a way younger age than I was when I started caring about social wrongs. Don't even get me started on their awareness of the pervasiveness of propaganda and active fight against it. In traditional media to social media. Mwah. We love to see it. This dismantling of sins that has lasted for so long in how we receive information is something that can only lead to good things. You are going to lead the future in good places. The future is diverse. The future is female. The future is gay. The future is disabled. We're in good hands. The kids are all right. Also, while this outro is rolling, I just want to show you the best comment I have ever received, and that is this right there. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to be compared to that man, not even man, that angel. is truly the highest honor that has ever been bestowed upon me.